Hey everybody, welcome to the Better Presentations, More Sales podcast. My name is Trevor Lee and glad to have you on board with me, whether you're listening to this in the podcast version or whether you're watching the video version. So thank you very much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to be helping you boost your presentation confidence. Because not everybody is a really confident presenter. In fact, most people avoid it. Most people hide away from it. Most people are really nervous about doing it. So if you're one of those people who is nervous about presenting, you're looking for a boost to your confidence, then this is the episode for you. Because, you're a business person. And business presentations are a key part of business opportunities and business success. So the last thing you want to be doing is trying to avoid presenting. But lots of people do. They come up with all sorts of reasons why they shouldn't present. Oh, my goodness me, I've got to have all my teeth out that day. Oh, if only I wasn't on holiday. All that sort of stuff. So let me share with you some ways in which you can boost your presenting confidence so that you're not sitting there thinking, I can't do this, or I'm bound to mess up, okay? Because that's what goes through people's minds. Oh, and also there's a little myth we need to bust here as well. And that myth is that you've got to be an extrovert to be a presenter. People say to me, I'm never going to be a great presenter, Trevor, because I'm not an extrovert. Well, that can be a good thing, actually, because very often extroverts, when they present, they forget that they need to do the basics correctly. And they think, I can wing it, I'm very confident, and usually they're not very good at presenting, frankly. So when we are going to present, and when we are going to present confidently, we are looking for you to really be the authentic you. So it's not about, going out there and being somebody different, and also just be the best of you for the time that you are presenting. All right, so you're not looking to be an Oscar winner or something like that. It's just you, the best of you. That's what we're aiming for. So I'm going to share with you a few thoughts and ideas how to boost your presentation confidence. Now, if you're looking to get better at presenting overall, then you can contact me for some one-to-one coaching. I tend to specialize in working with people on a particular presentation or sales pitch that you've got coming up. But also, if you want to transform your business presentations, but you don't want to be part of a training program or anything like that, then you can join my course, my online course, Transform Your Business Presentations. Now, this is live out there now. I haven't really marketed it yet so far, but I'm going to start promoting it now. But what I am looking for is 3 people who can help me do this, and I'm going to offer you the course, which is £347, as you can see on the screen if you're watching the video version, for free. Okay, all you need to do is drop me your email to podcast@trevorleemedia.co.uk. I will send you a code, so when you log into the course site, you go to the checkout page, it'll say coupon or something like that. And that is the code you put in, and you get it for free. There'll be 3 of those, so if you get there and it doesn't work, it means they've gone, kind of thing. You can also, if you're listening to the podcast, it says send me a text message. So press that button, but make sure when you send me a text message, you send me your email address, because I can't reply to you if you send me that text message. Now, the deal is you get the program for free, but in return, you commit to doing it. That's number 1. And secondly, you then provide me with feedback as how you got on. And I will then we'll have a 30-minute on Zoom or something like that, which can be partly a presentation coaching course, a call for you, and a feedback call for me. So if you want to make that happen, that would be fantastic. Right, let's talk about how to boost your presentation confidence. Well, one of the things, of course, is remember and get it in your head that your audience are on your side. Okay, they're there because they want to learn from you. Because when we're doing a presentation, we're looking to, part of what we're trying to do is educate people. Tell them things that they don't already know. So that might be tips, ideas, techniques, whatever, advice, whatever it could be. And you're there to do that because you are the expert in whatever you're talking about. You're not going to be doing a presentation on something you know nothing about. Well, it's unlikely you're going to be doing that. So, the audience are there for you, and they're keen for you to succeed. Because if you do well, that means they've learnt a lot, and that's great for them. So they're looking at you in a bit of a selfish way. They want you to be there. And if you don't rock up, or you decide not to do it, or you avoid it, then they're going to miss out. So in a sense, you're a little letting them down by not doing your presentation, if you see what I mean. So some of the things you can do which help boost your confidence. A lot of people don't spend enough time preparing their presentation. So I'm going to suggest to you that you do spend that time, because the more you work on the presentation, and in a minute I'll talk about practice, and the more you practice it, the more confident you're going to be, because you're going to feel as though you know it really, really well. So when you're doing your preparation, because a lot of people are very nervous at the start of the presentation. Sometimes the 10 minutes before you start your presentation is the worst time, and then followed by the first minute or so. So one of the things you can do is start your presentation with something you're really knowledgeable about, really comfortable about, and you know it really well. And that could be, for example, a big stat, something that's relevant to your audience, relevant to your presentation, and you're really on top of. And you know it really well, and it's a favourite stat of yours. So start off with that. And by the way, when I say start off with that, go straight into it. Hopefully someone's introduced you. If not, then, work that out separately. But go straight into it. You don't want to start by fumbling around at the beginning. Oh, it's great to be here. Lovely. I'm feeling, people say things like, I'm feeling a little bit nervous, or don't do that, because all you're doing is telling the audience you're nervous, but more importantly, you're telling you're nervous. Okay? So don't do that. Start with a big stat. Maybe start with a short story, probably an anecdote. But don't make it too long. 90 seconds will do. So before I begin, it was very funny, but I just need to tell you this little story. That kind of thing. Also, what you could do is start with a prop. Okay, so you don't have to worry about slides or anything like that. And this is me starting a presentation with a prop. Okay, cricket bat, cricket ball. And what I was doing, I started then bouncing the ball on the bat. And I was suggesting to the audience I was going to hit it into the audience, and one of them had to catch it. All right, so the audience were engaged and thinking, oh my God, is that really happening? And it got rid of any nerves I had, because I was very comfortable with it. And then I went into my presentation. So there we go. So think about one of those three ways when you're doing your preparation to start your presentation. Because once you get over that first 60 seconds, you will start to get into it, enjoy it, and basically, and one of the challenges I have when I work with people is they start to enjoy it so much they're in danger of running over on their time. Now, so you've done your preparation. The next thing you need to do is you need to do your practice. And this is really important, because if you practice, it will give you a confidence, because you think, oh yeah, that was good. I like that. So we don't want to practice it to death. We don't want to practice it so we feel as though we know every single word off by heart, because you'll come across as wooden and stilted if you do that, frankly. But one of the great ways of practicing this, any presentation, is to practice out loud. So don't just think practice, I'm just flicking through the slides. Okay, I'll probably mention that there. That'll do. That is not practice. Practice is delivering your presentation as though I'm delivering it to you now in both the audio and video format. That is practice. Practice out loud. So I'm the chair of the local running club, okay? And I've done lots of presentations, obviously, because I work with people. And I do the shout out most weeks, which is 4 or 5 minutes just congratulating people on great achievements, explaining anything that's coming up, and then introducing the people who are going to say, this is my run tonight. And I stand on a bench out, or when we're inside on a chair, and I do it. And I feel very comfortable doing it. But I run to the running club, which takes me about 20 minutes. And in those 20 minutes, not only have I spent a bit of time working out what I'm going to say prior to that, I go through it on the way there. Okay, so I'm practicing out loud. So it doesn't, so even if you're a little bit of an experienced presenter, practicing out loud will boost your confidence. If you are looking for a confidence boost, that's really good. The other great thing about practicing is that it gets rid of all the fluff, all the filler, all the stuff you don't really need. Because when you practice it, you'll think, oh, why have I included that? So be prepared to get rid of stuff. Okay, your presentation should deliver its message in the minimum amount of time, with the minimum potentially amount of slides and the minimum amount of content in it as well. So don't pad it out for the sake of it. All right, and it will boost your confidence if you think, right, I've really got this. This is great. I really like this. Now, one of the ways of boosting your confidence when you're a first-time presenter, if that might be you or you're inexperienced, is start small. And it might be that you do the shout out at your local running club. That's a way of standing up and speaking in front of people. And if you think about it, you might not have delivered a business presentation, but you probably have done that public speaking bit, which is, in a sense, the same kind of thing. So if it's your first presentation, or you haven't done many, maybe don't think, right, I'll do the keynote in front of 300 people. So it could be just explaining to your colleagues a new thing that's going on, or whatever that might be. So start small and build up from there. Right, so what about on the day? How do you boost your confidence on the day? Well, the first thing to do is to plan to arrive early. You don't want to be arriving 10 minutes before you're due to present, even if it's internally. Get to the room before everybody else. If it's externally, you've got to travel somewhere, make sure you're there a good hour or so before you're due to start your presentation. Maybe longer if it's a conference or event. So before you do all that though, make sure you've had something to eat, because if you're feeling energized, you'll feel more confident. If you haven't had anything to eat, you'll be low on energy. That will not help your confidence. Wear confident clothes. This is my shirt that I'm wearing for this video recording of my podcast, okay? And make sure also that you don't take reams and reams of A4 notes with you, because that won't boost your confidence at all, because you'll be thinking, do I need all this? Probably I don't know the subject. That's why I've got all these notes. And that's probably what your audience are thinking as well. So prompt cards. And you maybe only need one prompt card with just, I usually use one word per slide. Occasionally two, but no more than that. Arriving early also gives you a chance to just check the equipment. Now, it might be you're delivering your presentation in-house, so you're kind of familiar, or you should be. But again, don't underestimate the check of that. So how's the clicker going to work? This is the clicker I'm using here. Where's the screen? Where's my connection? What am I running it through? All those sort of things. And ideally, whether you're at an event or somebody else's offices or your offices, before everybody else arrives, you get a chance to just run through live, if you like, the first, 90 seconds of your presentation. And if you do that, that will make you feel even more comfortable. I always aim to do that whenever I can. And then make sure just before you go live, there's two other things you can do. One is you just got a glass of water handy. So you never know when you might need a little sip of water. It won't feel like an interruption to your presentation. And then also it gives you time, if you've arrived early and you've done all your checks, to do some meeting and greeting. Now, you may know everybody because they're from your organisation, but you can have a bit of a chat, bit of banter before you start. That will help settle your nerves. And if you're going to an event and you don't really know anybody, then just do some meeting and greeting of random people almost. The organiser in particular, okay? And the other people who might be in the room with you speaking or whatever it might be. Because you'll feel more confident if you know a few familiar faces in the audience. So there we go, folks. There's some ideas to boost your presentation confidence. And the final one, and this is very easy for me to say, not so easy for you maybe, but if you can, go and enjoy it. And think, right, I've done all the preparation. I've done all the practice. I'm actually going to go and enjoy this. And what I tend to find with the people I work with on their presentations, especially new people who are keen to, get some presentation confidence, is that once they get out there and they've got past that first minute or two, they start to really get into it and think, well, what was all the fuss about? I'm really enjoying this. And then the danger is they want to stay up there and they run over on time. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching or listening to the Better Presentations, More Sales podcast. I've been your host, Trevor Lee. And please do, if you're watching the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. And if you're listening to the audio version as a podcast, then please do share it, review it. That would be fantastic. Subscribe so you get the next one in your inbox. Now, there are 323 other episodes out there of the audio version, okay? So treat podcast listening as a library. So go onto the show on your podcast app, and then you'll see all the previous episodes. And don't, as someone recently said to me, oh, Trevor, I've started listening to your podcast. I'm up to episode 7. Well, that was 6 years ago. Okay, episode 7 came out. And I said, oh, no, don't do that. Just look down the episodes and pick the ones that are relevant to you. Because I've had some amazing guests on this show. So pick the ones that are relevant. If the title of the podcast doesn't quite, you're still a little bit thinking, what is that about? Click on it and the show notes will hopefully explain it and tell you whether it's what you want to listen to. So thanks very much for listening and watching as well. And I'll be back with another episode very shortly. Thank you very much.